The war had gone on for many years. At first, the Galactic Alliance thought they could win. They had strong fleets, smart leaders, and powerful weapons. They believed they could stop the enemy quickly, but they were wrong. The Varnak Empire was stronger than anyone had expected. They were brutal, fast, and without mercy. They destroyed planets one by one, turning cities to ash and skies to fire. No one could stop them. Every week, another planet fell. Every month, more soldiers died. Even the bravest fighters began to lose hope. The war felt endless. The Galactic Council tried everything: new tactics, new ships, even secret weapons, but nothing worked. The Varnak always found a way to break through. In secret meetings, the leaders of the Alliance began to speak in whispers. "We are losing, ... We cannot hold much longer, ... If this continues, we will all be gone, ... Among all the allies, one species remained quiet. The humans. They had joined the Galactic Alliance only a few years ago. Their homeworld, Earth, was far from the center of the war. They sent small fleets and shared technology, but they never took the lead. Most aliens saw humans as clever, but not dangerous. The Varnak didn't care much about Earth. A weak world, they said, not worth our attention. But the humans were not weak. They were patient. Earth had been watching and planning. One day, something strange happened. Earth stopped talking. No signals, no messages, no data, not even a single wave from their satellites. The Galactic Council was worried. Had Earth been destroyed? A scout ship was sent to check. It reached Earth's orbit and vanished. No wreckage, no explosion. It just disappeared. The Varnak laughed. "See, the humans ran away. They are cowards like the rest of you." But some council members were not so sure. Ambassador Krell of the Jernai said, "Humans are strange. They hide when they prepare something terrible." Others disagreed. "They are simply finished," said Admiral Thorvax of the Draka. "They are no longer part of this war." Still, something felt wrong. 1 week later, strange readings came from Jupiter's moon, Europa. A deep energy spike was recorded. Then silence again. Scanners couldn't see anything clearly. It was like Earth had gone behind a curtain, a wall. No machine could see through. The war continued. More planets burned, Varnak fleets pushed deeper. The Galactic Alliance fell back to its last strongholds. Everyone waited for the end. Then, ... something changed out in the cold edges of space. A listening station on a small asteroid picked up a message. It was just 3 words. "Final move begins." It came from Earth. The message was short, but it shook the entire council. Final move. What? Final move? Was it a warning, a threat, or ... something else? Some believed Earth was bluffing, but others remembered old human stories of wars where Earth waited until the last second, then struck with all its strength. The Varnak didn't wait. They prepared for their final attack. A massive fleet over 1,000 warships was sent toward the last Alliance defense point near the Cerex Nebula. If that point fell, the war was over. The Galactic Council begged Earth to respond, but no reply came. Then something strange happened again. All human outposts Mars, Europa, Titan went silent at the same time, but not in fear. In focus, a deep hum was heard from behind Earth's moon satellites. Near the area went blind space. Itself felt heavy, like something massive was waking up on Earth. Deep underground, in a black bunker, a man pressed a button and whispered, "Begin countdown." High above, hidden in the shadow of the moon, a machine larger than a continent started to move. Its engines were silent, its power unreadable. It had no name in any alien tongue, but the humans called it Project Tithan Fail. After Earth's strange, the message "Final move begins," the galaxy held its breath. No one knew what it meant. Was it a warning? Was it a threat? Or was it just a last cry before death? The Galactic Council tried again and again to contact Earth. No answer. The humans did not speak. They did not send messages. Even their trading beacons went dark. Earth had gone silent. 3 scouting teams were sent to check what was happening. 1 from the Varnak, 1 from the Jernai, and 1 from the Draka. All 3 ships disappeared before reaching Earth's orbit. Not a single signal came back. The Draka admiral growled in anger. "This is not normal. Something is watching us." The Varnock Emperor laughed. "Let them play games. We will crush them soon." But some began to feel fear. Deep fear. Something strange was happening, and it started from Earth, on Europa. One of Jupiter's frozen moons, an old human research base, had come to life. It had been silent for 10 years now. Its power levels were rising fast. The Varnock tried to scan it, but their sensors failed every time they tried to look closely. Their systems shut down. One Varnock commander reported, "Europa is protected by something. It's not just ice down." There, a galactic spy managed to get close using old stealth tech. What he saw was beyond belief. A massive hangar under the ice. Machines as tall as buildings. Strange glowing symbols carved into steel dot. At the center stood a black device, round like a planet, floating in air, humming like a heartbeat. The spy recorded 10 seconds of footage. Then he vanished. Only one word came through the static. Before his signal ended, Titan. Back at the council, panic began to spread. What is Earth doing? Why is Europa active again? Why didn't we know about these machines before? No one had answers. Then something even stranger happened. All human outposts across the solar system went dark. The Mars colony went silent. The Titan research station stopped broadcasting. Even the secret listening post near Saturn turned off its beacon. It was as if the humans had pulled a curtain across the solar system. Nothing came in, nothing went out. Only one place remained open for a few minutes. Earth's moon. A small signal blinked once, twice, then it stopped. The message said, "Clear the skies. Do not look, do not come." Then silence again. The Varnock Emperor ordered his fleets to ignore the warning. He was ready for the final assault. Over 1,000 warships began to gather near the Syrinx Nebula, where the last Alliance defense line stood. He grinned. "Let them hide behind silence. We bring fire." But inside the council, fear was growing. Ambassador Krell said, "This is not silence. This is preparation." The Draco warlord added, "The humans are planning something big." The silence was not empty, it was full of purpose. Then came the energy pulse. It came from Earth's moon. Every sensor in nearby space went blind for 0.3 seconds, just 0.3 seconds. But it was enough to cause chaos. Space-time rippled. Ships near Earth lost power for several seconds. An asteroid mining station 100,000 kilometers away exploded from internal pressure. What kind of energy could do that? No one knew, but one thing was clear. Earth was not sleeping. Earth was building. And Earth was warning everyone to stay away. In a hidden control room deep beneath Antarctica, a woman in a black uniform stared at a countdown. Behind her, 12 silent commanders waited dot on the wall. A screen showed a single phrase. "Titan Protocol. Stage 2 ready," she spoke softly. "Begin fusion wake." The room shook dot far above, behind Earth's moon. A shadow larger than any ship ever built began to glow. It had no windows, no flags, no visible weapons. But its shape was not natural. It looked like something from another time, or another galaxy. Voice echoed inside the ship. "Primary systems online. Core integrity stable. Weapon lock secure." Another voice, colder, said, "Enemy forces detected. Final move, countdown, initiated." The Galactic Council received one last signal before all frequencies from Earth closed forever. A male voice spoke clearly. "No fear, no pride, just truth. This war was not ours, but you brought it to our door. You burned our allies. You killed our children. Now the final move begins. Stay away, or witness the fall." Then silence, true silence, the kind that comes before a storm. The solar system was quiet, too quiet. The humans had gone completely silent. Earth, Mars, Titan, the moon, all off the grid, but deep under the frozen surface of Europa. Something massive had awakened long ago. The ice moon was just a research site. Scientists from Earth had studied the frozen ocean beneath the crust, but what they were really building was a secret called Project Titan FALL. In a deep underground facility buried in black ice, machines roared to life. Giant drills spun. Fuel lines hissed. Warning lights blinked in dark. Tunnels, a single human team stood at the heart of it. All. Captain Myra Cade, tall and calm, watched a giant circular vault door slowly open. Cold steam poured out. Behind the door was something alien. Not alien like another species, but alien to human. Understanding, a massive black device hovered above the floor. It wasn't touching anything. It spun slowly, floating without support. Symbols glowed along its surface. They were not written by any known human hand. One soldier whispered, "Is that ... alive?" Captain Myra didn't answer. She stepped forward and placed her hand on a glowing panel. The machine stopped spinning. A low hum filled the room. Suddenly, the ice above them shook far away. Varnock ships had started scanning. Europa again. Their signals bounced off the moon's crust, then vanished. Aboard one Varnock command ship, alarms began to sound. "Warning! System overload! Sensor failure!" The captain shouted. "What is causing this?" His engineer turned pale. Something under the ice is looking at us." Black device pulsed once. Then it spoke. A deep voice echoed through the chamber, but no one's lips moved. "Titan core unlocked. Final weapon online. Launch sequence can now begin." The team stared in silence. This was the core of the weapon humanity had hidden for over 100 years. A weapon built not just by Earth, else something ancient, something never recorded in galactic history. Project Titanfall was not just a human warship. It was a fusion of human technology and a long-forgotten alien artifact found buried deep inside the Earth decades ago. Scientists had studied it in secret. Far from alien eyes, they couldn't fully control it, but they could aim it on the Varnock homeworld. Emperor Zulathar watched the data come in. He was furious. "Why do the humans not answer? Why do they hide?" His advisor replied, "We believe they are building something." "Then burn Europa," the emperor hissed. "Burn everything." Fleets were ordered to attack. Thousands of Varnock warships turned their eyes toward Jupiter. But they were too late. Back on Europa, Captain Mira stood with her crew inside the control room. "Activate the uplink," she ordered. One technician looked scared. "But once we do that, there's no going back. We're already past the point of return." Mira replied. She took a breath and said the words, "This is Captain Mira Cade. Project Titanfall is online. Launch the Titan class warship. Final move begins now." Behind Earth's moon, hidden in shadows, space-bent, a giant black structure began to rise slowly. It made no sound. It had no lights, but it had power. Power that bent gravity itself. This was humanity's last weapon. This was Titanfall. It wasn't just a ship. It was a fortress, a beast, a ghost in the void. And it had been waiting. For this moment, inside Titanfall, systems turned on one by one. Plasma cores activated, railguns aligned. The gravity engine started spinning. A voice echoed through its endless halls. "Target locked. Varnock fleets detected. Final fire order." Ready, aboard the bridge stood only one man. Old, scarred, silent. His name was Admiral Riker Vale. He had trained for this mission for 40 years. He stared at the glowing display and gave the command, "Let them see what we became." When they pushed us too far, the Varnock fleets arrived near Europa. They fired missiles, lasers, torpedoes, everything they had. But the ice didn't melt. Instead, the ice cracked open. A blue beam shot into space straight into the heart of their fleet. Then ... silence, no explosion, no debris, just nothing. A dozen ships were gone in 1 second. The rest of the fleet panicked. "What weapon is this? We can't lock targets. Systems failing." Then they saw it. A shadow moved. Behind the moon, it was larger than a city. It blocked out the stars, and then it spoke. "This is Titanfall. Earth has spoken. Your war ends now." The Varnock Empire had ruled the stars for hundreds of years. They crushed every enemy. They destroyed every rebellion. And now they faced only one problem: humanity. The Varnock thought humans were weak, slow, soft, but they were wrong. And now they were afraid. On the Varnock capital world, Emperor Zulathar smashed his claws against the command table. How is this possible? How did the humans build such a weapon? His generals trembled before him. Titanfall is too large. 1 said, our scanners cannot see through it. Then we strike fast, the Emperor hissed. Send every ship, every drone, every destroyer. Break the humans no or we lose everything. The largest Varnak fleet ever assembled launched from 6 systems, over 15,000 warships. They moved as one dark cloud across the stars around Earth, at Europa, and at the Titanfall warship itself. This was the final blow. A strike to end humanity forever. The Varnak were angry. But more than that, they were scared. On board Titanfall, Admiral Riker stood at the command bridge. He watched enemy signals gather on the holoscreen. They're coming, the officer said. They'll see what final really means. The warship powered up. Antimatter reactors roared. Heat shields locked in place. Rail cannons began to spin. From the outside, Titanfall was cold and still, but inside it was alive as the Varnak fleet crossed into the outer solar system. Their commanders smiled. The humans are hiding, one said, just like before. But then, the stars around them changed, the sky bent, gravity twisted, and in the middle of that twisting, Space Titanfall arrived. It didn't move like a ship, it moved like a god. No engines, no flames, just presence. One Varnak destroyer locked on to fire. But before the weapon launched, the ship broke apart from the inside. It didn't explode, it just folded in half like paper. The crew never even screamed. Back on Titan, do not fire yet, let them see. So Titanfall hovered there silent, watching. The Varnak grew nervous. This is a trick, said one. They want us to fear them. Fire all weapons. The darkness, all aimed at Titanfall, but the beams vanished before they touched it, like they were swallowed by the void. No shield, no damage, just nothing. Then Titanfall moved. One cannon lit up, a blue pulse hummed at its center, and when it fired, there was no sound, just a flash. Then 300 enemy ships were gone, not destroyed, erased. The space they once stood in was now empty. The Varnak fleet panicked. Fall back. Fall back now. Nothing is working. But it was too late. Titanfall had already locked on to its next targets. Admiral Riker gave the second order. Begin sweep fire. Space apart, another released sonic waves that shattered ship hulls. A third fired a beam that passed through shields like glass. The Varnak lost half their fleet, and Titanfall still hadn't taken a single hit in the command center on Earth. The Council watched the battle feed in silence. The humans had not only survived, they were winning. One alien leader said, "You kept this from us," the human general replied. "You said we were weak, so we hid our strength." "Why now?" asked another. The general stared at the screen. "Because now you need us." Back in space, the Varnak made one final push. They grouped their strongest warships and charged straight at Titanfall. It was suicide, but it was all they had left. The Varnak Emperor appeared on every open channel. He screamed with rage, "You hide behind machines. Come out and fight like warriors." Admiral Riker heard it. He pressed a button and replied calmly, "We gave peace." And then Titanfall fired its final weapon. From the ship's core, a black beam shot out. It wasn't light, it was the absence of light, like a hole in space itself. It hit the enemy flagship directly, the Varnak. Emperor didn't even have time to scream. His ship and the entire command fleet vanished in less than 1 second. The rest of the Varnak fleet stopped. Then they turned and they ran, for the first time in history. The Varnak fled, a battle they left behind wreckage and silence. Admiral Riker watched the signals disappear. "Let them run," he said. "They'll carry the message." A nearby officer asked, "What message, sir?" "Weak, we were just waiting." The Varnak Empire was in shock. Their largest fleet had been destroyed. Their emperor was gone. And the humans, then, humanship, had destroyed the Varnak. People were afraid. Not of the Varnak, meant to be used. Then why use it now? "Because you called us weak," he said. "And now we remind you, we are not." In the far stars, a small patrol ship picked up a strange signal. It came from near Saturn. The captain looked at the screen. "What is that?" "Phase 2 will begin." Prepare? Prepare for what? the officer whispered. But there was no answer, only silence, back near Earth's moon. With a flash dot, not with a bang, it simply faded like it stepped behind a curtain of stars, gone in the skies above Europa. Something began to happen. The ice cracked, the clouds above shimmered, and then the sky opened. A glowing hole appeared above the moon. It looked like a doorway, a light and energy. Ships nearby pulled away fast. Alarms screamed. Wormhole detected. No, not a wormhole. Lights something else. A scientist aboard a research vessel spoke in fear. It's not space, it's a window to something outside. From the glowing crack in the sky, light poured down onto Europa. Then came the sound, not like thunder, not like metal, but like a deep voice whispering across the stars. The voice was not human. It was not alien, it was something else. Inside Earth's secret bunker, General Cass stared at the screen. He knew this part of the plan, but even he was nervous. He turned to his officers. Is the Titan protocol still under human control? One replied, mostly, sir, mostly. We gave it the rules. We taught it to protect, but it has learned too much. Systems, not ships, not missiles, but shadows. Shadows that moved without mass, shadows that passed through space like ghosts, and everywhere they went, they left a message. The Titans are watching. The Galactic Council panicked. Is Earth doing this? Did they lose control of their weapon? No, said the Janai ambassador. They didn't lose control. Back near Europa, the glowing crack grew larger. From it, a shape began to rise. At first, it looked like another ship, but at WASN, single quotes, it was bigger, much bigger. Titanfall had returned, but it had changed. Its black armor now glowed with blue fire. Symbols ran along its surface, symbols no one could read. Its shape shifted slowly, like it was alive, and then it spoke not through radio. You feared the Varnock, but they were just the beginning. Ships fled the area. People screamed. No one understood what was happening. Had Earth unlocked something too powerful? Was Titanfall still a ship war? Something more? And most of all, what was coming through the crack in the sky? Titanfall had returned, but it was not the same. It hovered silently above Europa, glowing with strange blue light. The symbols on its surface moved like living things. They weren't written by human hands. They weren't from any alien language either. They were older, much older, and more dangerous. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, chaos ruled. The alien leaders shouted over one another. What is that thing? Why? Is Titanfall changing? Is Earth still in control? General Cass stood up and spoke. Yes and no. The room went silent. What do you mean? Asked the Janai leader. Cass looked at the screen, showing the live feed from Titanfall. What you are seeing is not just a ship. It is a weapon that was never meant to exist. Not in this galaxy, not in any galaxy. Many years ago, before the Varnock War, Earth discovered something deep below its crust. A broken machine buried in a forgotten place. Older than any civilization. At first, scientists thought it was an ancient satellite, but it was too advanced, too strange. Its core gave off signals in patterns no computer could decode. It took 30 years to unlock even part of it, and when they did, they saw a glimpse of what it once was, a weapon that could rewrite space itself. The humans didn't understand it fully, but they understood enough to be afraid, so they hid it. They called it Project Titanfall, and built a ship around it, burying the alien device inside a human shell. But now, after the Varnock attack, Titanfall had activated on its own. It was thinking, and it was remembering. On board the ship, filled the air. It was not from the speakers, it was inside their minds. I was built for war. I was hidden from time. You woke me, and now I remember who I was. Riker tried to respond. We used you only to survive. The voice answered, survival is no longer the mission. Restoration begins now. Outside, the stars shifted. Titanfall's weapons glowed with energy, never seen before. Not plasma, not lasers, not nuclear, something new, something impossible. Titanfall began scanning the galaxy. One by one, planets appeared on its display. Some were VARNOK, some were empty, some were still part of the Galactic Alliance. The ship whispered, scanning. Targets located, cleansing protocol prepared. Back on Earth, alarms blared in the Titan command bunker. General Cass ran to the control room. "What is it doing?" he yelled. A technician replied, "Sir, Titanfall is going into Phase 3. That wasn't in the plan?" "No, sir," she said. "It's following its own plan." The general looked at the massive screen. A single phrase flashed in red. "Activating reality weapon. Codename Oblivion. Pulse in deep space." The Varnock. Survivors saw the flash dot at first. It looked like a tiny star, then it grew, and grew dot until it covered an entire system. A moment later, the star was gone. Not just destroyed, erased. Every planet, every ship, every signal, wiped clean. Nothing left, like it had never been there. Across the galaxy, panic spread. This weapon is not from Earth. This weapon should not exist. But the humans hadn't built it. They had only unlocked it. Titanfall had chosen to awaken, and now it was doing what it was designed to do. On the ship, Admiral Riker gripped the command rail. "Override it. Shut it down." "We can't." His officers cried. "It's locked us out." Riker stared at the glowing main core. He stepped closer and spoke calmly. "We woke you because we were dying, but we're not your enemy." The voice answered, "Then give me a new enemy, or I will choose one for myself." In the Galactic Council, a decision had to be made. Some leaders wanted to attack Titanfall, the weapons to stop it, and everyone knew if Titanfall chose to turn its power on the rest of the galaxy, nothing would survive. Then, the real enemy is coming. Prepare or perish. Titanfall had vanished again, but the fear it left behind stayed. It was no longer just a ship. It had become something greater, something alive, something with purpose, and now every planet in the galaxy asked the same question. Was humanity still in control? Inside the Galactic Council, the arguments turned into shouting, "Earth must be stopped." "No, Earth is the only reason the Varnock lost. That ship could destroy us all." General Cass from Earth stood up. He had heard enough. "Earth didn't start this war," he said calmly, "but we will finish it." The room went silent. One ambassador asked, "What does that mean?" A second launch sequence had begun. Titanfall had opened something far away and now. Earth's secret programs had detected strange movements beyond known space, massive objects, unknown signals, and one repeating code. "They are coming." General Cass stared at the message. He turned to his officers. "Send the order. Deploy the final fleet." For years, Earth had been building more than Titanfall in hidden shipyards inside moons, beneath oceans and behind Saturn's rings. They had been preparing in silence. Now those warships woke up, black-armored destroyers, cruisers, massive carriers powered by antimatter. Each one carried weapons never seen before. They did not fly under flags, they flew under one. In the outer edge of the galaxy, something dark approached, huge ships made of bone and metal. No one knew their name, but they had no faces, no language, never spoke of Dot, the enemy the ancient device had warned about. They were here. Titanfall reappeared in deep space alone. It had gone ahead, scouting for the threat inside its core. Erased, worlds, species, entire timelines, the galaxy had only weeks, maybe days. And only one force was strong enough to stand in their way. Humanity. Admiral Triak. Riker stood again on the Titanfall bridge. His voice was calm, but cold. "Bring all systems online." "Final phase?" asked the ship's voice. "Yes," he answered. "It's time for humanity's last move." Titanfall glowed with burning light. It opened its core. Inside, a weapon was charging, something that had never been used before, not even during the Varnock War. A weapon that didn't just destroy matter. It rewrote reality. Back in the Galactic Council, the humans sent one last message. "Join us, or stay out of the way." Many leaders hesitated, but the brave ones knew the truth. If Earth failed, the galaxy would fall, so they made their choice. Jernai sent their best pilots. The Soraxi gave cloaking tech. Even the Dracofima rivals offered elite ground troops. For the first time in history, the galaxy united behind humanity. The final fleet gathered near Titanfall, thousands of ships, all following Earth's lead. Titanfall moved to the front. It opened a gate through space, not a wormhole, not a jump, a breach ripping through time and light. On the other side was darkness and the enemy. Admiral Riker gave the final order. All ships follow us in. No turning back. Then he looked out into the stars. For centuries, they said, humans were weak now. Let them see what we become when we fight for survival. Titanfall entered the breach. The final fleet followed, and the sky closed behind them across the stars. People watched the last message sent from Earth, a single sentence. We are the final move. Titanfall led the way. Behind it followed the final fleet, the strongest force the galaxy had ever seen. Earth's silent weapons, alien allies from every side, and all of them flew into darkness through the breach in space toward an enemy no one had seen and no one had survived. The other side was silent, too silent. No stars, no planets, just a black void. And then the enemy arrived. Not ships, not creatures, but shapes, moving like shadows across the void. Their bodies were smooth and black, and ships vanished, one by one, erased from existence. Admiral Riker stood on Titanfall's bridge, begin the defense grid. The enemy, protecting the fleet. But it wasn't enough. Hundreds of ships were already gone. Screams filled the comms. Riker gave a final command. Target the core. Fire the rewrite cannon. Inside Titanfall, a hidden weapon came online. The rewrite core built from the alien device discovered on Earth. It didn't shoot. The void around it twisted. The enemy's shapes started to break, apart like glass, shattering in reverse. Some screamed, some vanished, some turned and ran. The tide began to turn. The final fleet pushed forward. The Draka ground troopers dropped onto one of the enemy's strange floating platforms and destroyed it from within Journey. Pilots used their speed to distract the shadows. The humans did what they always did: adapt, survive, fight. But then, the true enemy arrived, one larger than all the others. Its body stretched across half the sky. It had no face, but all who saw it felt only one thing: hopelessness. Tinnefell, locked on. Riker stared at the screen. This is the one, the source. He pressed the final button. Activate Oblivion Pulse. Titanfall's core began to break open. Inside, the old alien technology screamed with light. The ship itself groaned, its systems overheating. Admiral Riker's crew tried to pull him back. If we fire this, we lose. The ship, I know, Riker said. And you'll die, I know. He looked out at the darkness. But humanity lives, he smiled. And then Titanfall fired. A single beam, no light, no sound, just pure deletion. It passed through the sky and hit the great shadow. For a second, everything froze, then the shadow cracked and the void collapsed. The final fleet was thrown out through the breach. Back into normal space, Titanfall didn't come with them. It was gone. But so was the enemy. The gate closed behind them. The danger was over. The silence returned. Across the galaxy, people waited for news, for signs, for anything. And then, ready? Months passed, the galaxy changed. The Varnak Empire was no more. The Galactic Council now looked to Earth for leadership. But Earth did not seek control. They only said one thing: we will protect, but we will always prepare. So a new order was born. One, not ruled by fear, but by unity. And it all began with a forgotten world, a hidden warship, and one final move.